And we're back in game number 10. And I was confused there for a second because the user interface wasn't showing at all. But it is game 10 of the best of 21 between Fredinhiovic and Food Please. And it is played on Arabia of all things. So usually that is the first map we see in tournaments. But here it is map number 10. And I think that's also very fitting. I think it's the home map of Fredinhiovic in this case. Now, they have changed the Arabia generation a lot of times recently, but now I think they're going back to more the traditional style where you can also have these kind of cliffs on the map and a little bit thicker wood lines, which I like. I didn't like these thin pencil kind of wood lines that you had before, and sometimes you had no wood line at all, because why would you have a wood line? Who needs wood in Age of Empires? So I think the devs are moving into the right direction here. Now let's look at the civilizations. Fredinhiovic going for classic Arabia civilization with the Vikings. No, the Chinese, sorry. Always confuse those symbols here. It's the Chinese. So they start with extra villagers. And so that's already giving them a boost in the early economy. However, for beginners, it's usually very tricky to play them because you start without food. So first you need to task everyone on food. And then get going from there. On the other hand, Food Please, he has the Aztecs, which are, I would say, maybe the strongest Arabia civilization overall, of all time, maybe. And yeah, so he, I think, has the better civilization overall in this map. If he goes for Eagle Warriors, this could be really devastating against Fredinhiovic. But of course, he is helping Fredinhiovic a little bit by having his classic economy start. Although I think this villager should actually chop this tree, and it's kind of a bug. I think this villager wanted to walk to this tree and then got stuck behind the building, and that's why the villager didn't do what she was supposed to do. So let's, we can talk a little bit more about the map. So Arabia is more standard, so we can really go more in depth and look at how the resources are positioned. So we have a back goal, the main goal for Fredinhiovic over here. The other goal is more on the side. The stone, not so nice, is forward, and then on this side. Whereas for Food Please, he has a forward gold kind of, although it is behind the wood line. So maybe a little bit more difficult to reach if you have some walls over here. Then he has a side gold over here and a third gold over here. Now the stone is safely in the back, so that's nice for him. And I'm wondering if we will see some early aggression, but so far it doesn't seem to be the case. Let's look at the Eagle Warrior. Yes, the Eagle Warrior is idling. So Eagle Warriors, a little bit slower than the Scouts, but the Eagle Warriors are generally stronger than the Scouts, and they're also able to kill a villager with a loom one-on-one. So if you have a stray villager somewhere out there, this Eagle Warrior can basically kill it and give an instant advantage to Food Please. But yeah, we see this early advantage of the Chinese kicking in, Freddy having roughly 1.5 villages more, even though they start with more than that. By the time you need to get enough food to create more villages, your opponent can catch up a little bit. So it's not as strong as you would think immediately. But still, it is an advantage, and it's a constant advantage because the villages are working for the entire time. And you can even afford to have an idle villager there, as Freddy of course has. Now this map features some llamas, which is a nice addition. So recently there was talk about getting more variety in these herdable animals. So people were requesting chickens or even capybaras. So I think that would be a nice addition because I like seeing differences. Here we have the llamas, in other maps we have the geese, and then there's the pigs. But let's look at what the players are going for. Freddy now going for the standard 3 militia drush, I believe, because he did pick 10 gold from this gold mine. He has the barracks up, so I think he is ready to get those militia out. And I think the same goes for Food Please. He also has the barracks out, has a lot of villages underneath the town center, getting some food. We already see the flag on the barracks, so that signals that there are units inside. And Fredinhiovic is deciding not to go for the Drush. So he has prepared the Drush. He has gathered the 10 gold that he wanted, but now he's not going for the Drush. So maybe it's a fake out. Maybe he saw the Eagle Warrior of Food Please running around and scouting all of this, so he was like, haha, I'm not going for a Drush, I'm just going up to Feudal Age. And let's see if this will pay off for Fredinhiovic in the long run. Because on the other side, Food Please is, well, still in Dark Age, and he's lacking the food. Oh my god, what happened to him? He's now even farming in Dark Age, getting llamas. And the Drush is just now coming, but that's why he's lacking the food, because he's going for the legendary Splaybuzzers strategy of 7 militias, although he is still lacking 2. So if this strategy doesn't work, it's because he doesn't have enough militia. He only has 5. But yeah, these militia could wreak some havoc if not properly countered by Fredinhiovic. But in the meantime, Fredinhiovic has added some militia of his own, 4 of them to be exact, and he's now sending them across, and they will be men-at-arms. But now let's see if this wall will be in time. Probably not, because the Eagle Warrior is there to block. Quick Gate could still stop this, but no. And this villager is in danger, because the villager will be blocked. And I think Freddy doesn't even realize now. Now he finally realizes, but the Eagle Warrior can just block the villager. Oh, this is so annoying. And now Freddy just needs to garrison and shoot. Yes, and that's what he does. So no villager killed so far, but more militia are coming in. Fredinhiovic on the other side now sending forward those militia of his own. He is not producing anything, now going for archers, which is the right response to this amount of militia. And now, yes, shooting down 1. I think overall, I think maybe not the best strategy here from Food Please, because once the archers are out, these militia are not going to do anything, whereas on the other side, if these militia are upgraded to men-at-arms, they can just wreak havoc to just the buildings. That's already enough in a lot of cases, but oh, Freddy is just losing them. But now he should just run through and try to do some damage from the other side, which is what he is doing at the moment. But all the militia are at low HP, so the only thing he can really hope for, oh, there is a hole, by the way, didn't see that. What he can hope for is some, just some annoyance, maybe pick off a villager. Yes, that's what he's doing over here, and meanwhile try to not get damaged at home. And yes, yeah, Food Please running into the town center. But now Freddy really needs to ungarrison the archers. That's something that a lot of people forget, because the hotkey for sending the villagers back to work does not ungarrison military units. So these archers will not ungarrison unless you tell them to. But now Freddy does it, and now we have kind of an equalization of the attack, because Freddy did some damage and lost all of his units in the front, and Food Please did the same. But in the end, Fredinhiovic now having a village at disadvantage, and I think that was mainly because he didn't produce that much. Probably like missed a little bit of action. Oh, and Freddy is in danger of losing 1 more, but I think the villagers can just fight back, clobber this militia over here, and soon also the Eagle Warrior, and then it won't be any issue here anymore. But he needs to go back to work here ASAP. Advantage for Freddy is that he has the archers out already. He could send them forward, just send them here, and he can do so much damage. He just doesn't need to wait. And Food Please realizes that he is really vulnerable, and smartly placing down a tower on this hill next to the gold, so his gold will be safe, because as we discussed in the beginning, it's a forward gold, it's easier to hit, but now it should be secure. But what Freddy could do is just hit the berries, hit the wood line, and then he doesn't even need to hit the gold over here, even though denying the gold is one of the most effective strategies in Feudal Age, in Age of Empires 2. So if your opponent doesn't have gold, she will never reach Castle Age, will never achieve anything of worth mentioning. But I think what Food Priest is going to do, he is prepping for the Castle Age, but he has only 4 on food, so he really needs to abuse the market if he wants to go up. And he sold all of his stone, so he is a little bit on a struggle, but looks like he will be able to make it up to Castle Age. And indeed, he has clicked up. And that's still a very nice timing for him, considering that he basically didn't have any resources at all. Whereas Fredinhiovic appears to be stuck in Feudal Age for a little bit longer. And now the perfect counter to these archers is just Eagle Warriors. And the nice thing about Eagle Warriors is they cost a lot of gold. So if you can just saturate your gold mine, just get a lot of gold out, you can produce a lot of Eagle Warriors. And yeah, not much that Freddy can hit, really. There's some villagers out here who are now trying to get some stone. I think Food Priest wants to go for a castle crop. And that smells like Food Priest, to be honest. And now the scout of Fredinhiovic needs to retreat, but I think that Freddy needs to scout around, maybe look for the resources, because he's not gonna do much damage here, even if he picks up the villager. It's no use. And I think if we go to his point of view, what he sees, he's just 1 tile away of noticing this gold mine. And the problem now for Fredinhiovic is that his push has stalled out. All these archers are basically useless, but he is doing the right thing and is going up to the next age. Also has some economy upgrades to back that up, and 7 more villages than Food Priest. So while he took longer to go to Castle Age, I think it's still good enough, still fast enough to be able to respond to whatever Food Priest is doing. You have to remember, Aztecs don't get knights, so this power spike is maybe not as strong as for other civilizations where you just pump out some knights and basically GG your opponent. Now Freddy going back, he has learned his lesson. So we saw that in one game where Food Priest reached Castle Age and Freddy didn't go back, and here he really learned the lesson. He's going back, he wants to keep these archers, but now he should switch into a different unit, and that's what he's doing. So he's going for knights, I guess. Knights and some crossbowmen, because I think the Eagle Warriors are coming out. And what's also important is that he should go for walls, full on walls, because Eagle Warriors are just so annoying. You can never deal with them. They have so much pierce armor, they can just run underneath the town center, and it's gonna be really, really bad. Now we see Eagle Warriors coming out. Also the upgrade for the Eagle Warriors is coming out, a lot of them already in the barracks. So this initial push will be very, very strong. Now Fredinhiovic also reaching the Castle Age. So let's see what kind of upgrades he is going for. Yes, he's going for knights. The +1 attack, which I like in this case, because he knows Eagle Warriors are coming out. So we don't need the pierce armor, but we need the attack to finish them quickly. And he's also going for the crossbowman upgrade, which I also like, because he has some archers, 7 archers, and it's worth it to really do the upgrade here. But now the flood, the red flood, is coming in, looking for a hole in the wall. But I think Freddy has enough time to amass the knights. The knights are a good counter to the Eagle Warriors, because they're just so much stronger. They just have more HP, more attack, more armor. So overall, I think if he gets a couple more of them and sits the archers behind the wall here, Food Priest will not be able to do much damage. But I think Freddy needs to maybe wait a little bit longer to get a good engagement. Also, in the meantime, we saw some nice walls here. I think that's the right strategy. Just be safe. Just not let Food Priest raid your economy. Food Priest has built these 3 towers, but overall that's quite a big investment. It's a lot of stone he has invested. Now, granted, he does have enough for a town center, so he will be able to also get some economy. But look at this, Fredinhiovic, almost 10 villages ahead. He is safe at home. He just needs a little bit more time, amass a couple of knights, and I think now would be the time to try and poke forward, try to see what your opponent has, because head on he could fight this, And if you look at the upgrades, also Eagle Warrior is still missing a defense upgrade. And now the knights are there, and it's menacing. That's 8 knights. They can take on those Eagle Warriors, even though Eagle Warriors do have a small bonus damage against cavalry, starting from Castle Age, so only with the Eagle Warrior upgrade. So in the beginning they're Eagle Scouts, and then they're Eagle Warriors. But yeah, look at this. If we zoom in, yeah, it wasn't as clear cut maybe, but still, I think the Knights are just so much stronger than the Eagle Warriors, especially if they have some support. And so overall, if Fredinhiovic just keeps on pumping those out and then takes one good engagement, then this game is his to take. But Fuplis should not be ruled out, of course. He now has a second town center. He can try to boom this out. When in doubt, boom it out. And yeah, then just amass a much larger army. Now he's also adding a lot of pikemen. That was what dealt so much damage to the knights. But yeah, Freddy can just use his mobility now. He can move around. Now he's taking those knights and he's moving around. There's not much to hit. Everything is really well protected here, I have to say, for Food Please. So that's nicely done by him, but he should be able to hit those stone miners because he could just easily kill off the tower. One lonely Eagle Warrior getting picked up. Now some monks are out, and the right response would be to shoot the monk down. One knight gets converted, and this could be a disastrous engagement for Fredinhiovic, but at the meantime he is slaughtering the villagers because Fuplis is not looking. So was it worth it? Maybe. He's losing a lot of army here, also because his army again is fumbling around. I think Freddy still lacks understanding of engagements sometimes. So sometimes he engages in weird places or doesn't engage or then engages way too late. And this is one example of this. Even though he might come out on top in the end, yes, because knights are just so strong. But it was dicey. One conversion more. This could have been a different story, and now I think Fuplis has nothing. Freddy has 20 more villagers almost. Fuplis has lost a lot on this town center, and from here on out, it's really a winning position for Fredinhiovic. But we have seen him throw games before, so let's not call it until it's over, but it looks really good. We have to mention this is the map of our prodigy of Fredinhiovic. This is his favorite map. This is where he trained all of his strategies. And now we see some annoying monks being created. I love the monks personally, and I know that Fupli secretly loves them too. I think he has come to appreciate them quite a bit. And yeah, let's see what Freddy is doing. He is using his mobility, so that's very nice. But there's not much economy to raid over here. Really, all the economy of Fupli is in this little corner of the map. Although he still might be able to pick a villager. No, not quite. I'm trying to raid the woodline, but what woodline? There is no woodline to raid. And yeah, now Freddy just needs to be careful not to overextend, not to lose this army in the front while he's not doing anything in the back. But also just the knights being there idles some of the economy of Food Please, because all the villages are garrisoned in the town center. So even that is worth it. Now, Fuplis gathering the relics. Always like to see that. Basically, extra free villages on gold. So it's usually worth it to go for the relics if you have basically the micro skills to pull it off. Now Freddy switching back to crossbowmen. Now that he's seen all of these monks pikemen, so a nice switch back. Although it looks like he's only producing from one archery range, but he already realized this kind of mistake and has the second archery range out. So very nicely done, and I think we all know what this means. Villages that have gathered stone are going forward. And yes, he is going for a ballsy castle. But if he manages to get this one up, and by the looks of the army sizes, yes, this could work out. If Freddy micros this correctly, then this could actually work out. Although we hear a couple of conversions, and these conversions are really dangerous. But also, what we have to realize, we have archers in the back. The archers are firing all the time on the units of Food Police, and I think Food Police will not be able to withstand the assault of Fredinhiovic. Now the castle foundation has finally been placed, and Food Police is calling the GG. Yes, and there is no way for him to come back into this game. It is all over, and nicely played by Fredinhiovic. He didn't lose his cool. He just kept cool under pressure, built up his numbers, and then pushed Food Police back, and Food Police really wasn't able to compete with Freddy on Arabia, which we expected. So on Arabia, I think Freddy is now almost undefeated by in recent times. Maybe Splay Buzzer could defeat him, but he is kind of elusive and doesn't play. Alright guys, we can quickly check the statistics just for completeness sake, and we can see pretty even timeline. But if you look at the villager numbers, we saw that Fredinhiovic really had a huge advantage. But to give you a little bit of perspective, you saw that Food Police kept it 1 relic, and in a short amount of time, it already gathered 105 gold, so more than he invested into the monk. So relics are really worth it if you have the micro to get them. And with this, this was game number 10 in the best of 21 between Food Police and Fredinhiovic, and I hope to see you in the next one.